What's happening, people? Excuse me. We are live right now, live from the village right now. It is 3 minutes past 8 p.m. right now. It is the 3rd of April, 2023 right now. About to watch Candyman 2, Farewell to the Flesh right now. It is movie night right now. Work on, people, work on. Alright, so let me take a little sip of water. But yeah, it is movie night, Candyman 2, Farewell to the Flesh. I am watching this through Amazon Prime Video. It is a paid option where you either buy or rent it through Amazon or some other services like Apple and Google and whatever else does it as well. Or if you got it on DVD or Blu-ray or VHS or whatever you got it on, any way you have it, get it ready on Zero, and I'll let you know when to start the movie. But if you don't have it and you don't want to get access to it, it's all good. You can still come along and have some fun. We can chat about whatever you want. Well, maybe not whatever, but you know, you can chat about most things. We chat about all kinds of things on this live stream, so pretty much almost, I think, whatever you want. But let me not say whatever, just because some of you might come with some mad stuff. I'm just saying. But anyway, let me switch over to this screen. So yeah, we'll start the movie in a little bit. Farewell to the Flesh, Candyman 2. We watched Candyman. It was a while ago now. I think it was a good few months ago we watched Candyman. I don't remember when exactly, but it was a good few months ago, and it was a pretty cool film. I quite enjoyed it. It was definitely had some cool, shocking moments. I think the general kind of story of Candyman was pretty cool. This idea of this guy who was around a long time ago, and I think it was he fell in love with somebody, but then he ended up getting killed. I remember forgetting some of the details, but I think he fell in love with somebody, ended up getting killed. He kind of comes back and has the stories of all the from the neighborhood of the Candyman. They did the Candyman sort of remake movie from 20 something or other, and I mean that had its charm. But yeah, let's get back to the original. Let's get back to the original one. So yeah, Candyman 2, Farewell to the Flesh on Amazon or other services, rent or buy, but you don't gotta do that. But if you do, only if you want to, yeah, you could buy it or rent it, get it ready on Zero. I'll let you know when to start the movie. I'll start it in just a little bit, and maybe just a few bits. But let me just chat for a little while. So I ended up in Brighton today, actually. So I do cab work, and I got a trip that took me all the way down to Brighton, from London to Brighton, and it was about 66 miles. It's about 66 miles, maybe 67 miles. Well, close enough. 67 miles. So it's quite a long trip down to Brighton, and it was pretty cool. I haven't been to Brighton for a long time. The only kind of shame with it is that, I mean, I guess I could find somewhere to park and stay there for the day, but because it's not something I was necessarily prepared for, it's more of a case of like, well, that's gonna kind of mess up my day if I decide to stay down in Brighton for the day, isn't it? But I haven't been to Brighton for a long time. I was kind of hoping it was like maybe nearer to the beach. I think it was still a good few miles away from the beach. But yeah, so I got down there, dropped the guy off. I did go to a Sainsbury's just to use the toilet and grab a few things. But yeah, then pretty much headed back from there. But yeah, that was kind of my day today. Also, I've been watching The Last of Us, the HBO series, though I'm watching it through Amazon. I decided to buy it rather than you can get it on Now TV, where you get Now TV for the month and you can watch it through that. I decided I'm just going to buy the series on Amazon. It costs more, $21.99 versus $9.99 for Now TV, but it just means that I don't have to worry too much about watching it all in a certain amount of time, even though I think I probably could still watch it all within a month, but also means that I can watch it again later, maybe watch a few episodes. And I feel like this is something that I'm probably going to want to watch a few times. So I just thought, let me just pay for it. $21.99 for the season, and then it's less of an issue. But I've watched up to I watched up to episode 3 so far, and I'm not gonna give any spoilers or anything like that in case anybody hasn't seen it and still wants to watch it. I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but I would say that overall so far it's a pretty solid show. I'm quite familiar with the game, although I haven't played the game for quite some years now, but it does seem very close to what the game is doing, with the exception of a few bits here and there. They change quite some things, but I think the things they've changed, I think, in fairness, aren't major things in relation to the overall story. So all the main important bits seem to be still happening so far. But they have changed, I guess, a few significant things, but nothing that massively affects the overall story. But I would say that some of the changes, I don't know if they're not bad, I guess, but it is kind of like, well, that means this won't happen. Even again, it's not a major thing. It doesn't necessarily affect the overall story, but without getting to spoilers, when certain changes are made, I mean, certain other things can't happen, and even though it doesn't necessarily affect the overall plot and story, it's still kind of like, well, it could have been cool if they did something like that, if they did that thing. But we'll see. I mean, still, it's pretty solid. I have no real complaints about it. Well, one of the characters I could talk about, but I won't do that now. But I have no real complaints about it. I think overall it's still putting out a solid show, good story, and it's definitely kind of backing up the game as well in terms of like the backstory and giving more details on stuff like that. Yo, Sam, Sam B, and a place to be. Good evening. How is you? How is ya? Appreciate you coming through. How's your day going? How's your day been? It was birthday weekend, right? For you, was it like, it was L's birthday, and then it was partying and relaxing? Was that right? Did you get to relax, or did something come up? When you finally get that time to just relax, when you finally get that time to sit, and it's always right when you just sit down, you just got your feet up, you just exhaled, something comes up, and it's like, man, now you gotta get up again and go take care of it before it's an even bigger problem. Hopefully you got to relax. Hopefully you got to chill. But yeah, I was just saying that I was in Brighton this morning. Got a cab trip that took me all the way down to Brighton, and yeah, I didn't get to see much of the town, but it's cool to drive out on a far trip. Yo, Belgian Dan. Belgian Dan, the man. Tony Todd, indeed. We back with the real Candyman now, not that fake Candyman. The 2019 or whatever it was. Yeah, it was. And yeah, yes, there. Pre-gifts. Myself. I was done in. Oh, nice. Hey, yo. Yeah, that fever dream. I haven't seen Candyman 2 yet, by the way, so hopefully that's not a spoiler. But I've not seen Candyman 2. I've only seen Candyman, the original Candyman, and I've seen the remake / reboot of Candyman. But no, this be my first time for Candyman 2. Farewell to the flesh. So yeah, we'll start the movie in a little bit. If you have access to it, get it ready on 0. If you don't, it's all good. It's all good. You can still come along and have some fun. Can't say anything. Awesome. Appreciate that, Dan. Having this shot Saturday. It's been years since I did shots. Okay, well, what's that? Tequila? Is that tequila shots we're talking about, or? By the way, why did the Mexican woman divorce her husband? Because he tried tequila. Oh man. But yeah, I guess my weekend's been alright. We watched WrestleMania 39 Part 1 yesterday, and then today I saw in the news that WWE has been sold. That's crazy. At least half of it has been sold anyway. Like, the rest of it is owned by, because it's like, you know, shareholders and stuff. So like half of it gets sold and the rest of it is still in the hands of shareholders. But yeah, Vince McMahon no longer owns WWE. I think he's still going to be acting as the top guy, but I guess he technically has a job now rather than owning the company. Well, he probably still owns some shares, I'm sure. I'm sure he probably still owns at least a few shares, you know, but majority of it is owned by Endeavor, they're called. There's the same guys that run UFC, that own UFC. So that was pretty interesting to see that news this morning. Don't tell no one, but I did get a little emotional at how beautiful she looked. Aww. And I said, darling, you look wonderful tonight. Why did the Mexican try Xanax for his panic attacks? Ah, man. I guess we're making jokes about Mexicans today. That's cool. Is it 21, right? 21 years old. Man. That's a full-grown adult. That was once an itsy-bitsy baby. Making them jokes because I'm Mexican, do it. Are you a Mexican or a Mexicant? 21, it's a strange feeling, that's for sure. But yeah, I guess you done good, eh, Sammy? You done good. Raised a little girl into a grown woman. You did that. Cheers to you. Ah, man. But Dan, how you been, man? How's your day going? How's your day been? And I just realized how orange my light is. Let me, is that better? I'm not sure if that's better or worse. That's no, I think that looks a bit pale. I think there. I think that's a nice tone. It's been calm. Oh, that's good. You need that calmness sometimes, man. No, I've been okay. I've been alright. I've been watching The Last of Us The Last of Us. We're watching The Last of Us TV show. I'm up to episode 3. Just watched episode 3 a little bit ago. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a pretty solid show. I won't give out any spoilers or nothing because I don't know, you might want to watch it yourself at some point, assuming you haven't already. But yeah, so it's a pretty solid show. It's a pretty solid show. It's very much like the game. I think that's not a spoiler. I think you might have known that. It's very close to the game. They have, of course, done their own things in certain places. But if you know the game story, I guess you're pretty much going to know this story. That being said, I think it still, still holds its own in its own right. And it still does some things where even if you know the story, it's kind of pretty cool to see how it plays out because it has like a little bit more of a back end, I guess, or backstory of how things kind of went down. I'm watching tonight. 2 poor torrent birthdays are expensive. I remember the film well though, and thank you both. Nah, it's all good. You don't guts to buy it. You don't guts to rent it. You can still come along and have some fun. You can watch me watch the movie. I'll describe what I'm seeing and we'll see how well you remember which parts they are. But yeah, we'll start the movie in a moment actually because it's getting into about 20 minutes now. So yeah, we'll get ready to start the film. The Last of Us, what happened to the First of Us? That's the thing. I don't think they actually answer that question. The game doesn't answer that question. I don't think the TV show is going to answer that question either. But yeah, it's like, what? Who were the First of Us? Like, where were they? Where were they? And quite frankly, they made a Last of Us Part 2 video game, right? Which means they clearly weren't The Last of Us. Like, there was obviously more people. So, I don't know. I feel like that name was a little bit misleading, to be honest with you. Because, like, there wasn't like the first game was like, okay, The Last of Us, it seemed like humanity was like dying out or whatever. The second game was like, yo, there's a lot more people here. So, clearly was not The Last of Us at all. Man, if they make a third game, they should call it The Rest of Us. On the last episode of Wednesday, by the way, and I've got to be honest, I'm watching it for the kids' sake. I'm feeling, oh, really? Interesting. Oh, well, I mean, some people like it, some people don't, I guess, but I thought it was pretty cool. Sam's just sticking it out for the kids. So that's a good mother, that is. The dance was pretty cool, though. I mean, the dance was, I think, on episode 3 or 4. I think, somewhere around about there. But yeah, that dance scene was pretty cool, right? You gotta like the dance scene. You gotta like the dance scene. Have you seen Wednesday, Dan? I'd recommend it. I'm not sure Sam would. But I thought it was pretty cool. Alright, let's switch over to... Ooh, where we at? Alright, let's switch over to this screen. Okay. So we're going to go 3, 2, 1, play. So in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, what's going on? Okay, technical difficulties, guys. 1 second, we might need to restart this. What's going on? Why won't the movie play? Hold on a sec, I'm having some technical difficulties. Okay. I think we're sorted now, so let me come back to the beginning. All right, so we're gonna start again. Okay, so back to zero, back to zero, back to zero. Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, yo, it's doing it again. Okay, now it's playing. I'm not sure what's wrong with this video, but it's. I had to skip 10 seconds ahead for it to actually play. We're there now, anyway. We're there. We're playing now. We're playing. I had already seen it all over the internet, so by the time we watched it, I was over already. Okay. Oh well. Oh well. Haven't seen it. Okay. Oh, they're gonna recap the story. Because you think you're not missing much down, but I think I'm in the minority. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty solid throughout. I mean, well, there's definitely some parts that I thought were like, but overall I thought it was pretty solid, but oh well. They're in New Orleans. Helen Lyle. He believes in the myth. He's gonna look in the mirror and say Candyman. One more time. But he did it. He said it 5 times. Oh. Oh wait, is this a joke? Oh, of course. I love the first one. The first one was a pretty cool movie. Oh, we talking about Candyman, so oh wait. Yeah, if it was talking about Candyman, then yeah, the first one was a pretty cool movie. Wednesday is a prime example of why I don't watch stuff where there's a lot of hype. Good to know. I mean, it kind of varies though, doesn't it, I think? Like, sometimes there's shows that get a lot of hype, and yeah, you watch myself and maybe... But I think, to be fair, there are some shows that get a lot of hype, and even if you don't think they're brilliant, you know, you can at least... They're at least, you know, enjoyable, or at least you feel like you got something out of it. Apparently this guy is responsible, or potentially responsible for this guy's father's death. I didn't start watching the Walking Dead till much later when the hype died down, and I binge watched it. Yeah, some shows deserve the hype. I think Walking Dead, I probably feels like the same. Like, I didn't watch it right away. Like, maybe, I think I started watching it after it'd been on for, I think, at least 3 or 4 seasons. But yeah, sometimes it's good to do that, to kind of wait a little while. You know, wait maybe a few months, maybe even a few years if possible. But sometimes it's good to just wait till the hype's kind of died down. That way you can kind of watch it and enjoy it for what it is. Or, you know, not enjoy it for what it is, right? Because sometimes when you're watching something when there's a lot of hype around it, it's kind of easy to get sucked into the hype as well. And then you don't necessarily have a sort of real view of it, because like part of you is kind of sucked into all the hype surrounding it. And you know, if you're like me, kind of a cheapskate, sometimes you just kind of have to wait till the hype's died down before you watch stuff anyway, just because, like, I ain't got money like that. Ooh. Do you believe in him now, Mr. Purcell? Alright. Be honest, guys. Has anybody here ever said the name Candyman while looking in the mirror 5 times? Or say Candyman 5 times while looking in the mirror, rather. Kelly Rowan. I had some experience with Dharma. I liked it, but I felt like I was watching a different show to what everyone else was watching. Dan did it. Okay. And so, Dan, after you said Candyman 5 times in the mirror, how did you... Oh, Sam did it as well. Okay, so this question's for both of you then. How did you fight off Candyman when he appeared? Yeah, Dharma was I mean, purely from, I'd say, a TV show perspective, I thought Dharma was a pretty solid show overall. As a historical, you know, show based on something that's real life. I mean, apparently it wasn't super accurate, but then these things never really are anyway, so it is what it is. I think my one gripe, or my main gripe really with Dharma, is that when I read that Netflix didn't tell the families of the victims about the show, they didn't get permission from them, they didn't ask them, they didn't let them know about it, and I thought that was a dick move. Like, that's like, come on. You should have at least let them know, because that can't have been... I mean, how traumatic would that be, just telling Netflix and all of a sudden, like, the most horrific experience of your life is just being plastered all over, being recommended to you to watch, talking about it's the most trending show in your town right now or something like that. That's got to be reigniting all kinds of horrible memories. So yeah, I think they should have told them, at least tell them first before like it was put out. Use my ninja moves, nice. Sam, grab that sword real quick. They call their teacher by her first name. Or maybe she's not the teacher. Maybe she's just a pervert hanging around with kids. Weirdo. I just use Bloody Mary against them and enjoy the show with popcorn. Bloody Mary, what, the drink? You threw a drink at him? Alright, well, I guess if it works, it works. Or is Candyman an alcoholic and he just like took it and left you alone? I agree with that, because if it was solely about Dharma, then open to everyone, but because they went deep into the victim's story, they should have told the families. Yeah, indeed. Legend. But apparently Netflix are planning more similar sort of shows on other serial killers. Man, this show's so 1990s, man. This show, movie rather. I'm just taking that link down. Oh, I see. Bloody Mary, like the person. I wonder if they'll make one on H. Holmes. Triple H? I'm not sure Triple H has killed anybody. I mean, he's probably ended a few careers in the wrestling ring, but I kid. But yeah, H. Holmes is the name. I don't know, but I'm guessing that was a serial killer. So I actually did something today that I thought I'd never do, and I just got reminded by what happened on screen here. Doing John Wayne. Okay, that was the clown guy, wasn't it? yeah, I did something that I thought I'd never do, which is buy instant coffee. Today I bought a jar of instant coffee, and I guess there's a few reasons why I did it. I know instant coffee is not good usually, but apparently there are some good instant coffees out there. But mostly I just wanted something that I can have to make coffee quickly for the times where all you need is that caffeine hit, but you don't necessarily always have time to make a proper cup. So I was like, all right, if I can just have something where I could do it quick, that way I just get that hit. But for the times where I got time to do it properly, then I can do the whole pour over. Yeah, same reason I have some instant coffee. Yeah. The jar says it lasts until 2025, so I don't have to have it all the time. And I certainly don't intend on having it as my replacement for actual coffee. But yeah, there are those times where I'm like, you know, I can do it with a caffeine hit, but I don't really have time to go through the whole process of making it properly. It's just like, you feel like having coffee, but you just don't want to wait too long. Right, exactly. And also, I have my good coffee in the pot in the morning and crappy coffee for the rest of the day. You start the day with good coffee. That's, yeah. All right. So when you guys have time, how do you prefer to make your coffee? Like when you got time, like you're not in a rush. You got all the ingredients you need, all the equipment you need. When you got time, how do you prefer to have your coffee at home? At home, by the way. So not like if you're in a coffee shop. That's a whole different thing. So when you're at home and you got time, how do you prefer to have your coffee? They've got pretty much all new characters in this one, haven't they? Mr. Man, the man. From my coffee machine, okay. Sam goes for the coffee machine. Mr. Man, I prefer my coffee at home in the jar unopened. Okay. I prefer it in a cup. Alright, alright. Mr. Man, the man, appreciate you coming through. How is you? I would say that I don't mind the machine. I don't mind the machine coffee, it's fine. But if I have time, then I tend to prefer a pour over coffee. So I have, it's called a V60 coffee dripper. So it's like a cone shape, and you have the filter paper inside. I weigh out 15 grams of ground coffee, and then I weigh out between 210 and 250 grams of hot water. But you have to pour it slowly because I don't have a gooseneck kettle. I've got a regular kettle, so you've got to pour it slowly. I mean, you've got to pour it slowly anyway. But you just got to be careful with a regular kettle because it sometimes tips out too much. So you just got to pour it carefully, slowly, and you just kind of drip it over. Pour a little bit, stop, let it drain, stir it, pour a little bit more, stop, stir it a little bit, pour a little bit more. And you kind of pour it in circular motions as you're doing it as well. But yeah, weigh out between 210 and 250 grams of hot water. Let that drip out. And yeah, that would take about 5 to 10 minutes. Somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. I've never really timed it, but yeah, it's kind of a long thing. But if I've got time, I like that. All that tells me, man, you Mr. Man, is you're not to be trusted. Been that a long time. I know the way is quite good. Yeah. But yeah, I learned that from a YouTube video by a coffee expert on YouTube. And that's a technique he uses, except he has the proper gooseneck kettle, which I don't. But aside from that, and I think he has better like timing and weighing, and it's a bit more accurate the way he does it. But pretty much the way he does it, but like, you know, the poor people version. So yeah. All right, I've been busy. How about you? I can't stand coffee. Cup of tea, please. You know, I used to say the same thing, Mr. Man. I used to say the same thing. I used to hate coffee back in the day. But I don't know, man. Sometime in the last, I think like 3-4 years now. I don't know, man. I started liking coffee. I never planned on it. It just kind of happened. And I still drink tea sometimes, but yeah, definitely preferring coffee more these days. And just came back recently to the live streams. The economic version, yeah, exactly. It's good to see you again. Yeah, I guess it's been a while since you two have been in the chat at the same time. But yeah, appreciate you guys coming through, man. We're watching Candyman 2, Farewell to the Flesh. That's a story of a real love affair. They were lost and now they're found. Speaking of a love affair, there's this film about a woman who had sex with a homeless man and then let him drown. It's called Titanic. How far are you in the movie? We are just about 24, almost 25 minutes into the movie. So just a bit where they're entering their house. It's like an old dilapidated house. Playing catch up here. awesome. I was talking to a guy the other day, talking about how he used to like just find these abandoned buildings and hang around in places like that. And he's not from London, by the way. So I don't think you can really do that much. Hang around abandoned buildings in London too much. You know, it might not be a good idea. Let me see, says Hank at the cinema and got told off for laughing at the dude hitting the papilla. Papilla? What's a papilla? Is that like an animal? A nipple-like protuberance on a part or organ of the body. A vascular process of connective tissue extending into and nourishing the root of a hair, feather, or developing tooth. Okay, I think I know what that means. But I'm not sure. Oh, wait, it was a type. Okay, my... But at least, well, now we know what a papilla is. It's a nipple-like protuberance on the part or organ of a body. We learned what a papilla is today. I was trying to think, who hit a papilla inside Titanic? Okay. But apparently it was a typo. But I guess what that means is that Sam talks a lot about nipple-like protuberances, or at least enough for also correct to think that's what it was. What was meant to say. Oh. There you go. I mean, there's definitely worse things you could be talking about, so. But it's a nipple-like protuberance, and not necessarily a nipple itself. I guess a nipple is just a nipple. But anything that sticks out in a similar fashion to a nipple is called a papilla. Or the plural, papillae. Literally learned what it was just now, but yeah, I talk about stuff I have no clue about. It never appears sounds like something Cheech and Chong do. They probably do. They probably do. Probably hitting all kinds of papillas. And, you know, bongs, of course. How far up a peel is allowed to stick out? No, it doesn't actually say. It doesn't actually say. I guess I'd have to assume not necessarily far. Otherwise, it'd just be like, you know, a pipe, I suppose. But I'm assuming it's a relatively short distance. I guess that's what we need to find out next. When does it stop being a papilla and start being a pipe? What's this, like Dangerous Minds or something? Just... She pushing the kids? Yeah, this is Dangerous Minds for sure. Oh, what did Matthew do? They fighting over that? If Dangerous Minds was a horror movie, Candyman 2. I mean, this lady kind of looks like Michelle Pfeiffer, though. Like, she actually does look like... She actually does look like Michelle Pfeiffer. And you've got these badass kids fighting in class. And she's apparently the one teacher that gives a damn. Lets them call her by her first name. All they need is a headmaster saying, knock before you enter. Oh, don't do this, Annie. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stop there. Stop there. Or say it one more time. What happens if you say it 6 times? But the thing is, the people who say it don't get killed right away. So when she says, oh, you see nothing happen, it's like, well, yeah, you give it till tonight. You know, if you're there tomorrow, then you can say nothing happened. I feel like Candyman 2 had an interesting idea, but it didn't do it for me overall. It does seem to be taking its time a little bit, does be fair. It's like, what, nearly, what, 30 minutes into it? Yeah, over 30 minutes in. actually gonna get gutted now. Is one of those. Why even bother ones, really? They made 4 Candyman movies, right, before they rebooted it, wasn't it? I guess it's the same with a lot of movies, series, you know. There was 3 in the reboot. Okay. So 4 in total. Okay, cool, gotcha. But I guess the same with a lot of series where as they go on, they just kind of lose focus and stop knowing what they're doing. Like, it's rare you have a series of movies that goes like, say, 2, 3 and beyond and stays good. You know, that stays like, I mean, of course, they're never all gonna be masterpieces, all right, of course, but you know, it just in terms of staying solid films, like, that is a rare thing. He's not gonna kill Annie. I feel like they missed the trick, not bringing Helen back. How did Ellen end up again? I don't even remember. Did she go mad in the end? I felt like I remember. I probably should have watched the first one again, to be honest with you. But I feel like, did Hanny go mad, or she was in some kind of mental hospital or something, right? Annie, sorry, Helen, excuse me. Did Helen go mad or something? Helen dies. Helen dies. Okay. She died in the fire. They easily could have made her the big baddie. Oh right, yeah. I think, well, she went after a baby or something like that. Wait, so he killed the dude instead of the woman. So wait a minute. Is Candyman really a metaphor for, like, black men secretly desiring white women? You know, like, he kills everybody but the white girls, I swear. I think Candyman might be after some jungle fever, you know what I mean? I think Candyman might be looking for a bounty, you know what I'm saying? Candyman might be looking for a chocolate sandwich, you know? I'm just saying, the girl said the name 5 times and he killed the dude. I was like, wait a minute. True, he also killed the black woman in the first one. Back after her husband said her name 5 times. 5 times and killed her husband. think I might have to watch these the Candyman movie again. I might have to talk about these on my movie channel. But hey, man, I ain't mad at it. It was supposed to be reincarnation of his love. These women are all connected. Yeah, I remember that. That was like the whole what they did with Dracula, wasn't it? Like the immortal beloved type thing. So maybe Annie's a reincarnation of. Nah, that wouldn't make sense. It's not that long afterwards. This is only like what 3-4 years afterwards, so it wouldn't be she won't be a reincarnation of unless maybe their spirit passes on or something. Yeah, so Candyman trying to get some milk in his coffee. Annie. So apparently with the first one, Tony Todd had real bees in his mouth. And they paid him extra for every time he got stung. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, no, she's not really dead. Okay. That was just a dream. Hey, are you okay? Are you okay? Well, people get caught up in the black man, white woman thing. Get caught up in the love story and the tragedy of it all. Yeah, Candyman's coming. finished. Wasn't that kid fighting Matthew before though? And how come they know where their teacher lives? Is that normal in America? Kids just turn up at their teacher's house, call them by their first name? Like, I don't know, man. They get a little bit too familiar. By the way, Annie, are you okay? Do you guys know what that is about? Like, where the phrase "Annie, are you okay" is from? It's actually a phrase that's used in a particular field, or commonly used in a particular field. CPU, yeah, that's it, yeah. He just said I'm Matthew's teacher. Like, is he the only Matthew in the whole neighborhood? The first film and loads of social commentary in it. To be fair, racial stuff, class stuff, and some other stuff. I think. Mr. Man. Hey, this guy looks familiar. I can't remember I've seen this guy before. The Reverend, the guy who plays a Reverend. His name's Bill Nunn. I've seen that guy before somewhere. Bill Nunn. Where have I seen him before? What's Bill Nunn been in? Oh yeah, he was in Spider-Man. Yeah. He was in the Spider-Man movies. So now Sam's seen the reboot of Candyman. Have you guys, Dan, Mr. Man, you guys seen the reboot of Candyman? And if so, what you think of it? Was it Halloween? That kid's just walking around dressed as a king? Or, I don't know, court jester or something. I'm drunk and I'm stupid. Please let me sleep. That's why I don't see Candyman as a villain as a traditional villains go. Yeah, he's more like, I mean, he was badly treated, right? Like, I mean, he was commissioned to paint somebody and fell in love with, I guess, the wrong person or whatever, right? you know, at the time, and then they ended up like torturing him, cutting his arm off. And now his soul is tortured. I think the problem with this movie is that these characters haven't been around long enough to... I feel like these characters haven't been around long enough to pull off what they're trying to do. Because this whole history about his dad, you know... That would have made more sense if it was like we had more knowledge of who his dad is. Now it's just kind of like, eh... It's tragic. That guy looks like Charles Barkley. Do you want to eat food from a place where Pooh's licking arms? He's going to use that same hand that just got licks all over. But she ain't going to pay for it? Oh, wait, there you go. Lying. Candyman was created. He is a tortured soul, wanting to be with his love. Yeah, indeed. All he wanted to do was bust a nut. You know, bust a nut with the one he loves. They wouldn't let him do it. They killed him. They tortured him. mean, do you really want to be going into like a small, dark room with a strange man? He's going to lock the door behind you. I don't know, man. This don't look like a good idea at all. And this guy, this cop guy, going on his own. Daniel Robert. Still don't like the reboot. Yeah, the reboot was like, I mean, I felt like it had its charm, but yeah, overall, yeah. Some of the characters in the reboot were just like unnecessary. Bees. Too heavy-handed with a social commentary. It was the. Oh, what just happened? Too heavy-handed with social commentary. It was difficult to just enjoy the movie. Yeah, for our social commentary in movies is kind of like a. Well, yeah, no, I think it's kind of like a difficult balance at times. Because there's no right or wrong way to include social commentary, right? Actually, no, let me rephrase that. There's definitely a wrong way. There's definitely a wrong way. But it really depends on what you're trying to do, what type of movie you're trying to make, and what the focus needs to be. And sometimes, like, the social commentary is done in a way where it unintentionally takes away the focus from this Annie girl is like the soul of his long lost daughter. Just whistle. Can't even call his name, you know. Rude. Have you ever read The Forbidden? It's one of the short stories in the Books of Blood series. I have not. I don't believe I've even heard of that, actually. But yeah, I mean, like, what was I saying? Yeah, so social commentary movies, like, yeah, it sometimes done in a way where it just unintentionally takes away the focus from the film to the point where it's like, it almost feels like trickery. You know what I mean? Link on Discord. Alright, cool. But it could almost feel like trickery in a sense where, like, lots of films have multi-layers, deeper messages. You know, that's not an uncommon thing. right? But is she gonna finger herself? Oh wait, she's pregnant. Yeah. There's Pesos commentary and it definitely belongs in Candyman, but it was way overdone. Oh, they're gonna kill the priest. Speaking of social commentary, actually, Ryan Coogler, who directed the Black Panther movies and the first 2 Creed movies, along with Fruit for Our Station. If you've seen that, good movie. If you've not seen it, definitely recommended. Anyway, he's apparently working on, I should say, I don't know if it's been officially confirmed, but according to Chris Carter, the creator of the X-Files, Ryan Coogler is working on a reboot or reworking, I guess you could say, of the X-Files. They haven't said much about it, except for that it's going to have a diverse cast. Now, I ain't know about you, but when I hear diverse cast used as a selling point, it doesn't really fill me with confidence, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Now, to be fair, it's not an official announcement from anybody. It's Chris Carter saying it. Apparently, he talked with Ryan Coogler, and then Chris Carter mentioned it in some interview. So as far as I'm aware, there's no official announcement from any studios or anything like that. So who knows? Maybe it's just how Chris Carter's describing it. Maybe that's not how Ryan Coogler described it. Maybe he described it with much more intricacies and details, and Chris Carter's takeaway was diverse cast. You know what I mean? That could be the case. I'm just saying. Anytime I hear diverse cast used as a selling point, it doesn't fill me with confidence. Sorry guys, heading out. Have a good night. Yo, appreciate coming through, Mr. Man. Hopefully next time we can stay a little bit longer. But until then, peace out, homie. Now look, let me be clear. Of course I'm not against diverse cast. I ain't saying that. And come on, I'm not gonna be against, black folks being in movies and TV shows. Of course, come on. I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that. And yeah, I mean, if you want to reboot the X-Files and have diversity, it's not a problem. I ain't saying that either. Like, it's whatever. I'm just saying it's not a selling point. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a selling point. Like, that doesn't make it interesting. Like, if you can't talk about, like, say, I mean, of course, you're not going to tell you too much about the plot and the story because you don't want to give too much away. But if you can't talk about briefly what you're trying to achieve with it, or briefly what it's going to be about, or briefly how it differs from the original from a, say, narrative point of view, and all you can say is, we're gonna have a diverse cast. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? It's you're not selling it to me. I'm not saying it's gonna be rubbish. It could be the best thing ever by the time it's out. I'm just saying, people need to like come up with better ways of marketing stuff rather than just zoom in. Oh, he's gonna do it. Oh, he did it as well. Oh, and he got killed right away. Man didn't waste no time. Diversity is a good thing, but when they use that to make people watch it, it's a money grab. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. Just kind of like feels like it's like the X-Files was a great show. At least the first few seasons. I didn't watch it after a while. It kind of fizzled out for me, to be honest. But certainly in the beginning, it was a great season for a lot of different reasons. And I'm not saying you have to do exactly what the original did. In fact, if you're going to reboot it, you probably don't want to do it exactly the same anyway, just because what would be the point of rebooting it then? But one of the problems X-Files never had was diversity. Like, literally had creatures from all over the universe. So, I don't know, like... I don't know. I mean, if it does turn out to be a real thing where they are really rebooting it, hopefully they do a good job of it. And you know, Ryan Coogler, as far as I'm concerned, I've seen a few of his movies, and he makes good movies. Like I can't fault Ryan Coogler as a filmmaker on anything. Like I've seen Fruitvale Station, which was excellent. I've seen Creed 1 and 2, I thought they were great. Black Panther was an amazing film. Wakanda Forever was, you know, pretty decent too. So I've seen at least 5 of his films, and I've been, you know, so I know he's a very competent filmmaker. So I have no issue or no, say, qualms with him being involved with a reboot or a remake, because he knows what he's doing, and I have confidence in his ability to make a good product. I'm just saying. Put it this way, Ryan Coogler rebooting X-Files is more of a selling point than we're gonna reboot the X-Files with a diverse cast. You know what I mean? That's what I feel about it. Oh, they watched the video. She's not on video. Oof. I'm not proud of him. This lady sounds like Cartman. I'm just hoping they're spending more time on series quality than they do looking for diverse cast members. Ooh, she got a hook hand. Was that her hand? No, it's not. Uh-oh. Was he gonna kill her though? Oh, he did it. guess we're wrong. We're wrong. Candyman does kill white women. Can we go back in time when people cared more about actual storytelling? I mean, I think to be fair, like I say, if Ryan Coogler's involved, I would think it's going to be a pretty good show, because, like I say, he's a very competent, excellent filmmaker, and he's shown that he's not just some random hobo off the street. Like he's makes good stuff. But yeah, when you hear like, and again, to be fair, that's not the official announcement. So I gotta make sure I'm being fair on this. Gotta make sure I'm being fair. That's not the official announcement. That was just something that Chris Carter said in the interview. But yeah, it doesn't. So she watched the videotape. Why didn't she tell the police? She is the police. She's like, yo, clearly something's going on here. Yeah, but I would prefer they didn't have these new cast members playing Mulder and Scully. That won't go down. We'll have different characters using the same format. Have different characters. That'd be my guess, actually, that it would do. I doubt they'll, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I doubt they'll go with, like, Mulder and Scully played by different actors. They'll probably have, well, like you say, like, hopefully. But then again, I don't know. Could you? I think the problem with having Mulder and Scully again is that we've seen that already, and it's not been that long ago when you think about it. Like, X-Files ended in what, 2012, 2013, or something like that. So it's not really that long ago. And it's like the whole kind of thing about, you got one guy who believes everything, and then one person who's like super skeptical. It's like, yeah, we've done that already. So I think that'd be the problem, is that you just it'd be less of a reboot and more of a remake, and then be like, what would be the point? You know, because you're just telling the same story over again. So yeah, I think I'd hope they'll go with different characters. Maybe set in the same universe, so like Mulder and Scully still exist in this universe. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, they maybe they'll do something with Mulder and Scully with different actors, and it turns out to be amazing. I guess we have to wait and see. Guess we have to wait and see. Assume it's even real. For all we know, Chris Carter is just pulling our leg. Chris Carter could be just like telling fibs. Just try and get in the news again. Why is this kid hanging out in an abandoned house? It'd be cool and scum. Yeah. You think David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson would want to be in a reboot of X-Files though? I guess that's the other thing. Would they even want to do it? But I think if they're gonna have like, if they could get like Duchovny and Anderson to be cameos in it, I feel like they'd either have to do it as sometime during the first episode, or maybe sometime in the middle. I don't know if you'd want to do it at the end of the season though. I'm not sure, but hey, I ain't no filmmaker, so what do I know? Maybe you can kind of build up to it as like a cool thing, where they both show up for one episode and go away. What kind of place is she in? Oh, she gonna call the name. Oh, well, that's the mirror, wasn't it? She gotta break the mirror. Better hurry up and break it then. Break the mirror, break the curse. I'm open to it, but if they do recast original cast, it won't go down well. To be honest, I feel like that could be one of the problems with like certain fandoms where they get so invested in the idea of things being a very specific way that they become less open to the idea of any kind of change. And then no matter how good a show could be, just the very fact that it did something different, they've already decided they don't like it, you know? Rather than just letting it do what it does and appreciating it for something that's based on something that's different. But yeah, certain fandoms can get real mad about certain changes happening. Eesh. Right from the wrist. Gonna change that to make sense. I mean, yeah, for sure. Or, you know, at least be funny if they don't make sense. either change stuff to make sense, or at least get you laughing because they're so stupid. So that's they got in Candyman because they covered him in honey, and honey is sweet like candy. Man, death by 1,000 stings. Yo, Ken Greenhall. Wasn't as good as the first one. Well, that's probably true. I don't know though. I mean, it's alright. It's alright. It's a bit long. I mean, it's a bit slow. Excuse me. It's a bit slow moving, but it's alright. I think it's almost finished though. Yeah, go at 12. Just under 13 minutes left. I ain't gonna lie, that Caroline's kind of hot though. I'm just saying. I'm not. I can't be mad at him wanting to come back because actually, after getting killed that way. Can't be mad at him wanting to come back, waiting for a reincarnation. Would you die for Caroline? I mean, I'm just saying, I wouldn't opt for it, but I'm just saying, if you got like captured and tortured like that, cursed, I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, man. Let me see if I can get back. It doesn't make any kind of sense to recast Mulder and Scully, but new agents working on the X-Files makes perfect sense. Yeah, because I feel like you could do something where, you know, somebody picks up the X-Files, you know, like these kind of long forgotten files that nobody really cares about or nobody really takes seriously, and somebody kind of picks them up and tries to investigate them and maybe runs into problems and all kinds of bureau red tape, whatever, with the FBI. Has anyone here had congested ears? I don't believe I've ever had congested ears, no. Anybody else ever had congested ears? Man's gonna do what man's gonna do, exactly. I mean, it's like if you get like cursed and you're like tortured. They took his soul away. They cursed his soul. It's like, come on, man. It's like, nah, you can't stay there. Gotta get back to my Caroline. Smash the mirror. There you go. Broke the curse. mean, it ended as a bit of an anticlimax. Paracetamol normally, but if it's an infection, you might need an antibiotic. Olive oil works. So wax buildup. What is paracetamol? Paracetamol is a painkiller. You find it in things like Panadol. Well, I think that's almost over now. But now it's like, oh, if they kill Candyman, and there's a third movie, all right. You can buy paracetamol in the supermarket or local shop. Yeah. Over-the-counter thing. So these guys were like related to Candyman. They're like descendants from Caroline to Isabel to, you know, grandmother and stuff. Don't do it, Caroline. That was close. But you better take away any kind of reflective items in that girl's house. That was close. One more. One more would have been over for her. Mother had to step in real quick. Like, nope, we're not. Listen, take away all mirrors. Take away any kind of anything with reflection that could create reflections. Take it away. Don't even risk it. Anyone loses me though is kidding these kids. Kidding these kids. Wait, did I miss something? When did he kid kids? When was he kidding kids? Oh, kidnapping kids. Oh, right. Yeah. So I guess we learned a little bit about Sam today. So apparently Sam likes to talk a lot about nipple-like objects and kidding. All right. I'm sure there's relation there somewhere. It's all good. It's all good. No judgment. We don't kink shame here. But yeah, he kidnaps like there was like a baby in the first one, I think, or a child, that woman's that boy. Then he tried to do something with this lady's unborn baby. It doesn't look good for me, does it? Hey, whatever you into, Sam. Whatever you into. But yeah, I thought that was okay. I thought this movie was pretty okay. Yeah, it was just it was a bit slow moving for me. Yeah, what up, Reese? It was a bit slow moving for me, but you know, it was alright. It was alright. I think the ending felt like a little bit of an anticlimax. I think the acting generally throughout seemed a bit off. You know, I don't know if that's the actors or the directors. I don't know, but it just seemed a bit off. There's even some really cool parts in there, but overall it just felt a bit slow moving. I guess it's more for the backstory of this movie, right? It's more for, like, I guess, fleshing out the character of Candyman, and so you understand more about his motivations. I guess that's the purpose of this film, which, to be fair, it does that. But yeah, still just felt a bit slow moving, and how much that even matters, I don't know. I guess we have to wait till part 3 for that. Well, assuming. What up, Reese? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming through. How is you? We just watched Candyman 2, Farewell to the Flesh, from 1995. Have you seen it, Reese M, Candyman 2, or any other Candyman movies? They've had pacing issues. But yeah, it was alright. It was alright. Be right back. Alright. Let me just check what Rotten Tomatoes is saying about Candyman 2. Excuse me. Oosh. Candyman 2. Oof, people did not like this movie at all. So Candyman 2 has a critic score of 22% and an audience score of 30%. I mean, I don't know if I thought it was that bad. I don't know if I say it was that bad. I mean, I guess I could actually, let's see what they rated Candyman, because that kind of gives us a bit more of a barometer to go by. The original Candyman from 1992. Okay, it's much higher. So that's a 79% critic score and a 63% audience score. So yeah, they really didn't like Candyman 2 on the Rotten Tomatoes. They didn't like it that much at all. I don't think it was that bad. I mean, I generally don't like to rate movies, but if I were to rate it, I don't think it was that bad. Like 22%, that feels like very low to me. That feels very low. Like maybe like, I don't know, 40, 50%, round about there. Like, you know, it's not great, but it was alright. Like, or even like, yeah, I'd say like 40 to 50% feels like a fair score to me. But 22%, wow. They did not like that one at all. Good man, you not done a lot today, just chilling. Well, sometimes you gotta chill, man. I haven't seen the Candyman movies since I was little. Seem to remember a Van Damme movie with the bad guy introduced himself as the Candyman. Okay, I mean, like a prison movie. We were planning on watching The Faculty because I haven't seen that for years. The Faculty. Okay, that's the horror movie, isn't it? I don't think I've seen it, but I believe I have heard of it. Alright, so here's what they say about Candyman 2. This is the general critic consensus. Doubling down on gore while largely abandoning the subtext and wits that made the original worthwhile. Candyman Farewell to Flesh disappoints. I'm not sure they watched the movie because it definitely doesn't double down on the gore. It had far less gore than the first movie. This says it doubles down on the gore. I don't believe they, or I don't know, did you think they doubled down on the gore? I thought they had far less gore than the first movie. So I don't know how they're saying it doubled down on the gore and then abandon the subtext and wits that made the original worthwhile. I mean, yeah, that's probably a bit fair to be honest, but yeah, they definitely didn't double down on the gore. They half the gore, if anything. Probably less than half. Yeah, like all the kids at high school get possessed or something. Oh, The Faculty, yeah. I don't think I've seen it. Or have I seen it? Never have, I just forgot. 1998 movie. Oh wait, Usher Raymond's in this movie, isn't it? No, I ain't seen this. The Van Damme movie was The Sandman. I would guess it was Death Warrant. I remember it being pretty good, but that was back in the 90s, yeah. Death Warrant, I think I did see Death. No, wait, no, I didn't. But wait, I don't remember. I've seen that. You know, when you see a bunch of movies and you just can't, and you start forgetting which ones you've seen after a while. Death Warrant, 1990, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Wait, is Cynthia Rothrock in Death? No, it's somebody else. Cynthia Gibb, never mind. I don't know who Cynthia Gibb is. Patrick Kilpatrick, the Sandman. Sam is back. Back again. We're just talking about the score. So Rotten Tomatoes scored Candyman 2 Farewell to the Flesh 22% critic score and 30% audience score. Now, as much as I'd say I didn't think it was a great movie, I feel like those scores seem a bit low. 22% and 30%. That's out of 100, of course, by the way, in case anybody was wondering. But yeah, that seems a bit low to me, or I don't know. Would you think that's fair, or do you think that's low, or do you think that's too high? Never make a movie about the Columbine massacre. Not that I know of. I'm sure there's some documentaries though. Movie about Columbine. Oh, they did actually. Oh wait, not quite exactly about it though. It's maybe there's a film that's based on it, but it's not necessarily it. It's set in a fictional high school and chronicles the events surrounding a school shooting based in part on the 1999 Columbine High School massacre. So there's a film called Elephant from 2003. It's by Gus Van Sant. That's based on it in terms of like, it's not about the Columbine massacre, but they've apparently based what they've done around what happened. So I guess that means they've changed names and maybe haven't used the exact events and story and things like that, but yeah. Elephant, no S, just Elephant. Just one word, Elephant. And I think Dan just posted the a link to it. Appreciate Dan for that. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, there's two movies based on it. So there's one called Elephant, which is from 2003, and one called I Am Not Ashamed. That was in 2016. Which is... Oh, wait, one sec. Drama film directed by Brian Berg, based... Oh, this one's actually based on journals of Rachel Scott, who's the first victim of the 1999 Columbine High School. So I guess that one is a bit more, I guess, actual events, whereas Elephant is maybe just like, you know, loosely taking a pic. I don't know. I ain't seen none of those movies. But yeah, anyway, there's two movies. I Am Not Ashamed and Elephant. Getaway. Oh wait, I find that quite intriguing. Oh, Ben's in the house. Big up, Ben. I would say it's a little low. I like the story side of it, as I said. It had an interesting idea. It just fell a bit flat on screen for me, but it isn't terrible. Yeah. I find that quite intriguing how they killed the jocks and let the geeky and alternate kids get away. That's what that song Pumped Up Kids is about. All other kids with the pumped up kicks better run. Outrun my gun. Oh, I see. I did not know that. Appreciate the info. The thing about scoring movies, though, this is one of the reasons, well, the main reason why I personally don't like to score movies or any kind of artistic, creative, entertainment type thing, is that I feel like any score you give it is fundamentally flawed in a sense that they're so subjective, right? You can only really say that you liked something or you didn't like something, or you know what I mean, like it resonated with you or it doesn't resonate, or whatever. But when you try to give it a score and say like, okay, this film is a 7 out of 10, this movie's a 9 out of 10, but then you might find that it's like there's films that are just like the movie you gave 9 out of 10 to, but for some reason you don't like them as much. And then it becomes a case of trying to justify one score over the other. But they're so subjective that it's like you can't really. You just know that you like something or that you don't like something. And there's not always a clear, specific, you know, logical reason as to why you like certain things and why you might not like something else, even though it's very similar to the thing that you like, or perhaps technically better than the thing that you like. For whatever reason, you just know that you like this. So yeah, I just feel like scores are just fundamentally flawed when trying to... I mean, don't get me wrong, I think there's a use for them in terms of like, if you want to have a general idea if people liked a movie or not, they kind of serve that purpose. But outside of that, yeah, not really. Not really. And I think sometimes people put way too much stock into reviews, especially game reviews. Like you see this a lot in the gaming community. People put way too much stock into like what score IGN gives a game or what score GameSpot gives a game. It's like, it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's just your opinion. Scoring films based on your opinion is ultimately right. Indeed. Yeah, I agree. I like some movies that are pretty low rated. I liked that movie Cellular. Did I see Cellular? I don't think I did, but let's check out real quick. Cellular. Oh, Kim Basinger with Chris Evans from 2004, before Captain America. And Jason Statham's in it as well. William H. Macy, okay. This one was well written and a clever script. But yeah, that could be like that as well. Like, you know, a movie that everybody thinks is terrible, but you still like it, right? And that's fine. Or a movie that you might think is terrible and everyone else likes it. That's fine too. You know. Never even bothered by movie ratings. It doesn't make me determine whether a movie is worth watching or not. No, for sure. I mean, I think these days for me, I don't even bother with movie reviews. You know, at least not until I've already seen the film. I tend to, if it's, I mean, it depends on the film, of course, but if I know that I want to see a film, I don't even bother with movie reviews. Like, I just don't even bother with them. You know, even the non-spoiler movie reviews, I just don't bother with them. Once I have seen the film, then yeah, I might look up some reviews and just kind of see what the general conversation is about. But yeah, because I feel like the purpose of a review has changed over the years. At least for me, I feel like it's changed. Yeah, I'm the same. I watched a real old movie called The Flight of the Phoenix and absolutely loved that. I think there's a modern version of it. The original had Richard Attenborough. Okay, old school. I just watched the darn thing, exactly. But yeah, I feel like the purpose of a review has changed. Like back in the day, if you imagine, like, you know, there was 3 movies coming out that weekend and you could only afford to go see one of them, right? Nobody wants to go see a movie that they might not like So I get it. You read the reviews to get an idea of which movie you're likely to like the most, and you kind of base it off of that. So I feel like back in the day, it served that kind of purpose, right? It gives you some brief points about the film, just enough to, not enough to spoil the film for you, but enough to kind of give you the idea of whether you might like it or not. I feel like these days, with like a lot of things being on the internet now, with YouTube, video reviews, and so many people doing movie reviews now, I feel like the purpose has changed, because for one thing, a lot of people who do movie reviews aren't movie critics, and in a sense that they haven't studied film. They haven't been to any kind of film school, they haven't taken any kind of training, and that's fine. I'm not trying to gatekeep or anything like that. I'm just saying that is, how it is right now. And what that means is that not everybody talks about films in the same way. People talk about films in ways that feel natural to them, which means some people are gonna give away spoilers in their review. Some people aren't, and some people, even when they're trying to be spoiler free, they're still going to be giving away spoilers because they don't necessarily have an understanding of how to talk about films in a traditional sense. So for me, I just feel like there's so much out there. There's so much like people doing reviews. So many people talk about reviews in different ways. And anytime you watch a review, even a non-spoiler review, like the chances of it just giving away way too much information is like it feels a bit too high for me. So I'm just like, you know what? I don't look at reviews as a way of deciding whether I want to see a film or not. And I look at reviews more as a way of saying, okay, well, this is a film that I've watched and I liked. Now I want to know what somebody else thought of it. Because maybe they have a different understanding than I did, and maybe I could gain some from their view. You know what I mean? I look at reviews more that way now, just because like the landscape's just different. The stunt pilot died during the film. Oh, that's a shame. Rest in peace. The amount of times I've come across a review saying it's the best thing ever, and I'm like, did you watch the same movie? For real. Yeah, some films that everyone raves about, I can't stand, like Avatar and Inception. You don't like Inception? I mean, I don't care about Avatar or Lord of the Rings, but you don't like Inception? Nah, it's cool, it's cool. I don't tend to find the really mainstream stuff appealing. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, all it really comes down to is personal. Exactly, that's it. And people get so invested in these things. It's just someone else's opinion. That's all it is. I ain't saying you can't look at it or you can't. I mean, it's fine to know someone else's opinion. I ain't saying that, but you shouldn't be that invested in whether they like the same thing as you or not. It doesn't matter. Talking spoilers, did you manage to keep away from Night 2? For the most part, yeah, I did see a few things which may have been spoilers. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't click on it to find out, but I did see something that kind of planted a thought inside my head about one of the matches, and I thought, you know what, let me not confirm it, let me just move past and we'll see. But yeah, so far so good. Sometimes contain all the good bits to get bums on seats in the cinema. Yeah, I haven't actually seen Inception, to be honest. It just seems like more hard work to watch than entertainment. I'd say with Inception, I really liked it. In my opinion, I saw it when it came out at the cinema, which is 2010, I think. And at the time, I remember thinking it was honestly one of the most amazing films I've seen. I've watched it a bunch of times since then, and every single time I just thought it was an incredible film. Christopher Nolan, I'd say, it makes great movies. Like if his name's attached to something, you're probably in for a really good movie, I'd say. You don't have to watch Inception, of course, if you'd rather not. I ain't saying that, but yeah, my personal opinion of it is it was a brilliant. In fact, I'd put it in the realms of masterpiece. That's how much I enjoyed it. I'd honestly put that film in the realms of being a masterpiece. Just a fantastic, brilliantly made film. And yeah, I won't say too much in case I accidentally spoil it for you if you do ever want to watch it. But yeah, one thing about spoilers though, or just reviews rather, I should say, I wanted to say real quick. One of the things that bugs me about reviews is that sometimes you get people who do like these non-spoiler reviews, or the video is marked non-spoiler review, right? But then the video itself is like an hour and a half, you know? And for me, I'm like, there's no way you're talking about a movie for an hour and a half without spoiling it. Like, you're not doing that. Unless you're repeating yourself over and over again, there's no way you're talking about a movie for an hour and a half without spoilers. Like, no, you're taking the piss. And furthermore, like, it shouldn't take an hour and a half to review a movie. You know what I mean? It should not take that long to review a movie. Like, if it was like called, you know, a discussion, we're going to talk about this movie in detail. I get it, hour and a half, 2 hours. It can be a long video, because especially when you got like a group of people, you know, 2, 3 people, you can be talking about a movie in detail for a while. But there's no way you're doing a non-spoiler review for an hour and a half. Nah, you're taking the piss at that point. I swear, man, Scream 6 was a prime example of this best Scream sequel yet, and I agreed until the third act and went downhill quickly. Scream 6. That was the it was the last one. Yeah. I haven't seen that one yet. But yeah. Not related to Night 2, but some news came out today. Oh right, yes, I saw that. Yeah, the owners of mixed martial arts went to UFC. To form a new 17.3 billion sports entertainment brand. You know, I've heard different prices. I did see that WWE sold a majority share to, what they call Enterpro. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, I did see that they sold a majority share to them. But the prices I'm hearing are different though. I'm hearing like, I think it was like 3 billion in one place. I saw 9 billion in another place. Now I'm seeing 17.3 billion just here. So yeah, I did hear the news, but I'm hearing different prices all over the place. Like, okay, somebody's getting, I don't know who, but somebody's getting the figures when it's either 3 billion, 9 billion, or 17.3 billion. Like, it's gotta be, it's one of them or none of them, I suppose. But you're telling me it was one of those that you had to watch a few times. What, Inception? I'd say you could get it on the first watch, but I felt like I wanted to watch it multiple times because it's just that good. I don't think I had to. I don't think you have to watch it multiple times to understand it. I think you could get it on the first go, but because it's such a in-depth, multi-layered movie, I think you'd want to watch it multiple times. Especially if you start getting into the theories behind the theories of what happened, and let me not say too much because I don't want to accidentally spoil anything. So, but yeah, I think if you watch it and you enjoy it, you'd want to watch it multiple times. If you don't, of course, then you won't. But yeah. Well, you shot a new light on it. Maybe I'll give it a watch. Well, if you do, let me know what you think. You still have it out there as one of the best. I'm disappointed it went down, though. I still yet to watch it. The publicly traded company will see UFC Endeavor. That's a group. Yeah. That's what Endeavor Group. That's trying to remember. There's holding a 51% controlling interest and existing shareholders 49%. Yeah. So that whoever has shares in it will keep their shares, but yeah. Endeavor have a controlling stake in it, which I guess is normal for publicly traded companies, like, or relatively normal. Then it took me out completely, but up until that point, I loved it. It must have been frustrating, especially if it started great, and there would be a Scream 7. Scream 7 is confirmed. They're just gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going. Eventually, gonna do Scream 10, but it's gonna be called Sore Throat at that point. That's franchises. Yeah, I still need to get around to watching Scream 6. That's gonna be out on like one of these streaming platforms soon enough, though, right? I mean, Scream 5 I think went to streaming pretty quickly. When did Scream 6 come out? I think Scream 6 came out in February. Yeah, I guess it's too soon to go into streaming services, but soon. Yeah. Scream 20. Couple of strepsils every 2 hours. How long do you think a franchise like Scream can go for, though? I mean, because the original Scream was, at the time, a very unique, cool, original idea. At least as far as I'm aware. I don't know if they've done it before, but it seemed at the time it was a pretty cool, original idea. Scream 69. Yeah, that was just called Orgasm. But yeah, it's like, there's always that thing about how long can you run a franchise before you just run it into the ground. And I guess there is always a potential to make a franchise last for a long time. I mean, there's certainly franchises now that have been around for like 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. You know, they just kind of keep refreshing it and rebooting it every so often. So it's not that it can't be done, right? But it's just like, how does it move forward? Because I know they tried a Scream series at one time, which I think was on Netflix. I mean, was on Netflix. They've literally taken it off the service the last I checked. So I don't know if it was so bad that Netflix are just trying to pretend that they never made it. But if you go to Netflix now, the Scream series they had is no longer there. Like, at all. Just gone. Which, by the way, is one of the things I think sucks about streaming services in general. The fact that they can, anytime they want to, take something off and then you can no longer watch it. I think that sucks so much. Because even though I probably wouldn't have cared too much to watch the Scream series anyway, it's just the fact that you don't even have the option anymore. And if I'd wanted to, it's like, no, it's just tough. You just can't. Like, you can't go to Amazon and buy it. You know, it's just gone. And the fact that they can do that anytime, I just feel like that sucks so much. That anytime you want, you can just take something off and it's gone, and then no option for it. Scream Series 1 was actually alright. Actually, maybe it wasn't Netflix, my bad. Maybe it wasn't Netflix, apparently it was MTV. I thought it was a Netflix show. I actually thought it was a Netflix show, but it's not, it's MTV. But it was on Netflix, I'm sure of that much at least. I'm pretty sure it was on Netflix at one time. But I guess Netflix actually just didn't own the rights to it. Seems like MTV did. Which potentially means it's on Paramount Plus, actually. Let me see here. I think MTV and Paramount are run by the same company, right? Well, I don't think it's on Paramount Plus. Oh well. Oh well. It exists somewhere on some movie studio's hard drive. with no current way of... Oh wait, is there a way? Oh, okay, there is a way you can watch it. There is a way. It's on a service called Discovery Plus Entertainment. But apparently they only have one episode, which is the first episode, and that's it. You don't have the whole thing. Like, bro, I'm not gonna subscribe to a service and watch just for one episode. Are you mad? Mad. As long as it has a happy ending. Barbarian was another one. It's good, but it's nothing special like people make out it is. Series was its own thing, no connection to the movies. It was on Netflix. Scream louder. Hey, Kiana Lede was in the series. She was in 12 episodes. Kiana Lede is a singer. I like her songs. Oh. So yeah, as it is right now. Actually, wait a minute. Hold on a sec. I made a mistake. That thing that's on Discovery Plus, it's not Scream the series. It's called Scream the True Story. Which, I don't know what that is, but it's not what I was looking for. So yeah, this Scream series at least. I don't think there's any way you can watch that right now. That sucks. I mean, I probably wasn't gonna watch it anyway, but still, that sucks. Some shows and film series know the perfect time to end something whilst it's at its peak. I would usually say Faulty Towers, but it's being rebooted. Okay. With the original cast, or is it be a whole new thing? Snatcher was a good show. But yeah, you look at things like, for example, Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo has been around a long time. But yeah, they'll have like various like reboots or different versions and things like that. So they've figured out how to keep it going and how to keep it fresh, you know, over the years. So it's not, so yeah, you can always, not always, but you can figure out ways to potentially keep something going for like, you know, 30, 40, 50 years, maybe even longer. But yeah, it's just like how you do it. And I think sometimes people try to do it in ways that are just not a good idea. Like everybody wants to have the James Bond thing where you just keep making movies, you know, 50 years later you're still making movies, but that doesn't work with a lot of stuff. You know, like you get to like that third movie and it's a dangerous territory after that. You know, like how many series successfully get into like, how many movie series get into like, say, let's say 6 or more movies. There's not that many. I mean, there's probably quite a few, but how many of them do it and actually still make good movies that people care about? You know what I mean? Like, cause there's not that many. release is returning as Basil, and his real-life daughter will be in the show where they will manage a boutique hotel together. Okay, cool. He says we'll explore how Cleese is over-the-top, cynical, and misanthropic. Basil Fawlty navigates the modern world. Sounds pretty naff. I don't know, it could be pretty funny. But then again, I guess it's like one of these things, you know, a man out of his time type comedy, or a person out of their time type comedies. It could be really, really funny, but then it could also be, you know. Like, for example, like the Beavis and Butthead movie, that's the second movie they did for Paramount Plus. That was like Beavis and Butthead out of their time. You know, that's how that was kind of set up. You know, they got transported from 1997, I think it was, till the modern age, to modern times, and that I thought was done really well, and it worked, and it was funny, and it was hilarious. But then there's another film I saw called, I think it's called Prom Girl, or I can't remember what it's called. It's a Rebel Wilson film where it's a similar kind of thing, like a girl out of her time, and it was okay. You know, it had its moments for sure. It definitely had its laughs in there, but a lot of it just felt like they were just pulling punches. You know what I mean? A lot of it just kind of felt like they were taking an easy route where they know. I'm sure the writers were like, "Yo, we can make this hilarious. They can just go in." Because there was certain moments in that movie where you're like, "Yo, they can go in," and I'm sure the writers were like that as well. But for whatever reason, whether it's the producers, whether it's somebody got scared, I don't know what happened, or maybe I'm wrong, maybe they just wrote it that way, but in any case, it just felt like it was pulling punches. It just felt like they were just taking an easy route, and in the end, like, yeah, a few good jokes aside, it was just meh. Has to be done. Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, I guess it's a difficult thing, like if anything, it's a difficult thing to balance sometimes, because you don't want to just be, you know, crass for the sake of being crass, right? Or just, you don't want to be rude for the sake of being rude. You don't want to have a point that you're trying to make, and making that point while still being funny. I think that's where the skill lies. You know, I think that's where the skill lies. But yeah, in my opinion, Beavis and Butthead do the universe. They got it. But I think if you're not a Beavis and Butthead fan, I don't know how much anybody will like that. If you're already a Beavis and Butthead fan, I think you'd think it's brilliant. But other than that, yeah, I did enjoy Friends. I thought Friends was excellent. It's one of my favorite shows at the time, and even till this day, I watch some of the clips that they show they post on like the Instagram, and I still think it's funny. I mean, granted, a lot of that's probably nostalgia. This guy's not still sitting up with a knife in his head. What the hell? So it's a trailer for the Scream movie, Scream series. Okay, he fell over finally. Didn't enjoy Friends. Yeah, I think everybody loved it. Loved it, but the spin-off show I thought was awful. The Joey spin-off, I thought that was a good idea in terms of, like, I liked the idea of Joey going to LA to further his acting career. It made sense for Joey to do that, right? You know, I think everybody else was getting like married and starting families or whatever, and Joey was kind of the only one sort of left single. So it kind of made sense. He's like, you know what, they're gonna do their thing, let me do my thing, and move to LA. So I like the premise of it. And I think the first maybe few episodes, like 2-3 episodes, I thought were really funny. But yeah, after that, it was just it didn't hold up for me. It didn't hold up for me. And it was a shame because, like, that could have been like Frasier. You know what I mean? Like the next thing, that the spin-off that does really well. But yeah, it wasn't holding. It didn't hold up very well. Yeah. Especially Joey being like probably the most lovable character out of the whole thing. Like, it was almost like ripe to be a great show, to be a successful show. But yeah, shame. think you knew it was kind of falling off when they got they get the, what's her name? The lady who plays Rachel. I'm forgetting her name right now. I've forgotten her name, but you know the actress who plays Rachel Green. Flipping hell. But yeah, I think they got her in one of the episodes. And don't get me wrong, it's cool that she was there. Jennifer Aniston, that was it. Sorry, I forgot her name. Jennifer Aniston. It's cool that they got her there, but it was like it just felt like they only did it because they needed something to bring viewers in, you know? That's what it felt like to me. You know, I ain't gonna lie. Jennifer Aniston's with, like, she's what, 50 something? But she's been looking after herself, you know what I'm saying? She's been looking after herself. She's kept healthy. You know what I mean? You know what? I'm just looking here now. Was Jennifer Aniston in a episode of Joey? Because I'm sure I heard that she was. I guess I wouldn't have watched it, but I'm sure I heard at one time she was in an episode of Joey. Apparently not. No, apparently there wasn't an episode of Joey. I swear I heard that she was in an episode of Joey, and I just remember, like... Oh, I guess I misremembered. Or maybe I heard something that wasn't actually true. But it seems no, she was not in an episode of Joey. Jennifer Aniston was not actually in an episode of Joey. Damn, where did I hear that from then? Oh, well, doesn't matter. Joey lost his... Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. She spoke out recently about how people only just finding friends for the first time now find it offensive. Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen it. Do you think Lisa looks the best out of them now? Lisa Kudrow towards the final season. I felt that's Joey Rachel relationship made little sense to me. You know what? It did. It probably was. It probably made the most sense out of a lot of them. I think, say, between Joey and Rachel and Joey and I'm forgetting everybody's name. Lisa Kudrow's character. But yeah, Joey and Rachel made sense. But I think that's part of the reason why it is probably a good idea to not pursue it, because it made sense. And I think sometimes in shows, you kind of go with certain things that don't quite fit, but it works for the show. You know what I mean? Like Joey and Ross in real life probably wouldn't last very long, right? But it works. It works as a romantic story for the TV show. You know, because like he was in love with her from like, you know, they were in school and, you know, she didn't really notice him that much. And then all these years later, they meet again. And then, but this happens. He's married and he's got a kid and she's with somebody. And, you know, he's still kind of having feelings, but he's trying to move on. You know what I mean? So it's like this epic love story over the years. And I think that's why it works for the TV show. Whereas if they went with Joey and Rachel, yeah, it makes more sense in real life. I think Joey and Rachel in real life probably go forever. But for the show, it's just kind of like, well, what else are you gonna do? You know, you have this relationship that makes sense, and now you're gonna try and make jokes from it. It's like, what else do you do? So I think they made the right choice by having Ross and Rachel get together. I love Ross and Rachel. That made sense to me. Yeah, I think in real life, I'm not sure they'd work in real life because, like, Rachel was, I mean, she wasn't, like, dumb, but she was a little bit ditzy, you know. And Ross, like, seems like the type of person, like, he tends to correct people and, you know, that kind of thing. So I feel like if that was a real life couple, they'll probably just be arguing all the time, you know. I feel like they'd just be arguing all the time. It'd be like, this wasn't that way, or... But for the show, for the TV show, it's fantasy. It works for fantasy. It makes for a great story for fantasy. Yo, what up, Brax? Brax Bivvy, and a place to bivvy. And I think that's one of the things about shows as well, is like, there's certain things that can work in a TV show that would not work in real life. You know, there's certain characters that you like when they're on a TV show, but you know you wouldn't like them in real life. You know, I feel like it's just because it's fantasy, you know, and because like it removes a lot of the awkwardness that real life has and a lot of the kind of things that you kind of have to go through. So there's certain things that you could watch on TV and feel like that's a cool guy, that's funny, he's a great da-da-da. But in real life, I think a good example of that in recent years, to my mind, would be Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. Like, on the show, it's great. He's funny, you know, he's a lovable kind of, you know, guy. He's a bit of an arsehole, but you like him anyway, you know. He's annoying, and that kind of creates all this humor as well. And, you know, he's very anal about things, and that's where a lot of the jokes and things come from. And then, of course, he's socially awkward as well. So, you know, you get a lot of humor and jokes in these situations, and it's funny to watch, and you love the character. But if you knew something like that in real life, and you had to see them or interact with them every day, like you worked with that person, for example, like they did, or you lived with them, you'd probably end up punching them in the face. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be a good relationship. You'd be pissed off all the time. This guy was selfish. You know, like, he was so inconsiderate. He was rude. You know, it's funny on the TV show, but nah. In real life, that'd be a fight. So, alright. Man like Brax. Ross is that character. I liked him in the show. In real life, I would slap him. Can you guys... That'd be great on you. For real. That's the thing. Fantasy, reality, you know? TV, movies, they kind of help us escape that a little bit, but that's why I think it's silly when people try to push this narrative that just because you like a certain thing in a movie, or you listen to a certain type of song, or you like a certain your favorite show is whatever, or your favorite character is this type of thing, it doesn't mean you think that's a good thing in real life. It's just I feel like people, we naturally can understand there's a difference between fantasy and reality, and what you like in a fantasy setting doesn't mean that you want to manifest that thing into a real world setting. I mean, I think most people can kind of, you know, pretty much kind of understand that, but there's certainly a vocal minority that seem to think that just because, you know, you like a particular character and that character's not necessarily a good person or whatever, that means you want to be like that in real life. It's like, it doesn't. It's just, it's a TV show, and TV shows remove a lot of the real life kind of nuances, and because of that, you can just enjoy the fantasy. But it is just that, it's a fantasy. built differently towards Shelton because Sophie can remind me a little bit of him. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, 100%, yeah. There was something I read actually about Sheldon that, I mean, I don't think they said this in the show, so I don't believe, as far as I'm aware at least, and I don't believe it's like official, but I did read something somewhere that he's potentially on the autism spectrum. I mean, maybe that's something they explore. I know they did like a prequel series called Young Sheldon. I never watched that, so I don't know what happened there. But so maybe that's something that gets mentioned in that series. To my knowledge, I don't think they mentioned it in the Big Bang Theory. But yeah, I remember reading that something that there's like theories that he's on the autism spectrum, which could be true. That's obvious. Well, you know, Big Bang Theory is fantasy by the fact that what's that guy called again? One sec. Why am I forgetting everybody's name right now? I'm forgetting everybody's name right now. Here we go, Leonard. So you know the fact that Leonard ended up with Penny, like, or even like Howard getting with Bernadette, like. Actually, that one might be a little bit more believable, to be fair. But it ended up with Penny. I was like, you know, this is pure fantasy. That was pure fantasy. I was like, nah. And the fact that Raj struggled to get a girl, fantasy. Like, I don't believe Raj struggled to get girls. Nah. Raj was like the best looking of all of them. And granted, I know just because you're good looking don't mean you got confidence. I get that. I ain't saying that. But come on, Raj did not struggle to get girls. I'm like, this is fantasy. This is fantasy. Like, Leonard's getting Penny. Raj struggles to... And I feel like for the first few seasons, Raj couldn't even talk to girls. It was like, nah, this is fantasy. This is fantasy. When you live with autism, you can spot it when you see it. Oh, I see. So I guess it's official then, or officially unofficial, or unofficially official. One of them. The writers of the show claim he wasn't autistic, but he certainly seemed to be on the spectrum from what I saw of the show. Admittedly, I wasn't a big fan of it, so I didn't catch much of the program. I thought it was pretty fun. I think a lot of people, well, I say a lot of people, certainly a lot of people that I personally came across seem to not like it. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty funny show. He went on a date with SMG. Oh, Johnny Galecki. Oh, we talking about Kunal Nayar. He seemed to have autism, probably Asperger's. Yeah, they definitely. I thought they must have at least, if he wasn't supposed to be autistic, they must have at least based his character on somebody with autism. You know. Well, I say must have. I mean, yeah, maybe not. Raj on the final episode. Oh yeah. Okay, sorry, I remember now. But yeah. But yeah, for the first few seasons, he was like he couldn't talk to girls unless he was drunk or something like that. And then after a while, he could talk to girls, but he was so unlucky in love, you know. And I think he did meet somebody, but then it didn't work out. Yeah, I was like, nah. Raj doesn't struggle to get girls. This is fantasy. Raj struggles to get girls, and Johnny gets Penny. Nah. It's a comedy, so you just let it go. Raj could also be a jerk, though. True. True. Yeah, I think there was a few episodes where... And then him and Howard had their interesting relationship. Bazinga. Yeah. And then Howard should have got married. Oh, him and Howard, yeah. That could have, imagine they did something like, I don't know, like on Howard and Bernadette's wedding day, Raj comes like banging on the window. I protest, I protest. Did either of you ever see any Chris Lilly comedy TV shows? Summer Heights. Summer Heights High and We Can Be Heroes were superb. I don't believe I have Chris Lilly. I don't know if I know that name, actually. I don't think I know that name, you know. Chris Lilly. Australian comedian, alright. G'day. Yeah, and I don't think I've seen any of this guy's stuff, alright. Sam, be right back. Alright. G'day, mate. How's it going, Cobber? Putting up shrimp on a barbie. Bloody Drongo. What's your hobby, sport? What's your name, Shayla? I'm sure you know which cats in the show. He also wrote and directed them. Okay. Oh, me old cobber, me old bollocks, me old cobbler. think I do a pretty good Australian accent. I ain't gonna lie. I think if I move to Australia, people won't even know I ain't from around there. I think I could pull it off. Oh, I see. Taking a piss, are they? Bloody oath, mate. Yeah, bloody oath. Sam is back. Back again. Sam is back. Tell a friend. Oof, man. How it was in the US back in the early to late 90s. White folks had friends and black people had living single. Is it like that then in the States? Sorry, I'm tired. Brax. Because like, I mean, I'm sure plenty of black folk watched Friends and plenty of white folks watched Living Single, but was it in general, I should say, like that, where black people predominantly just watched black shows and white people predominantly just watched white shows? Is that how? And the crossover is like maybe a bit small, you know? Because I feel like over here, at least as far as I'm aware, people just watch whatever. Like it don't matter. I ain't saying people are like things are great over here and racism don't exist. I ain't saying that because it does. You know, it does. I'm just saying when it comes to shows, at least anyway. People seem to just watch whatever. Like it don't matter if it's a predominantly black show, predominantly white shows. Like just watch whatever. If it's funny, it makes you laugh. If it's a good show, people watch just whatever. But is it kind of like that where black shows are, or you know, shows with predominantly black casts are mainly only watched by black people, and shows with predominantly white casts are mainly only watched by white people? Is that how it is over there in the US? Had to take some paracetamol. Maybe save some for Ben. Was it Ben? No, Ken, was it? Sorry, my bad. Was it Ben? No, Ben or Ken? I think it was Ken. My bad. There was an EN, I'm sure. There was an EN in there. It's only one in paracetamol. Might have been Ken, not Ben. I think it was Ken, actually. Sorry, my bad. Ben and Ken. I'm not sure if Ken's still in the chat no more. But if you are, then Sam might have some paracetamol for you. If your show is good, then I watch it. Indeed. Indeed. Talking of Aussie films and shows, did you ever watch Wolf Creek? No, I don't believe I did. I think, to be honest, I don't think I watched many Australian shows. I mean those Neighbours, of course. Outside of that, there was a show called was it Round the Bend or Round the Twist? Yeah, Round the Twist. I had a wicked theme tune to that show. Did you ever felt like this? A strange things happen. I ain't going round the twist. And there was that. There was Prisoner Cell Block H. I think that's pretty much it from what I can remember. Off the top of my head, I'd say that's about it. Yeah, Neighbours, Round the Twist, and Prisoner Cell Block H. I think the only Australian shows I can remember watching. Or maybe if there was another, I've forgotten about it right now. Sure. Yeah, it was. Yeah, a handful of them watch Friends, but the vast majority of them watch people watching shows and stuff geared towards their demographic. I see. I felt like kind of ashamed, to be honest with you. Like, I thought people should feel nobody should feel like they could only watch certain shows. Like, you can watch anything. If it's on TV and you're paying for your TV, you can watch whatever's on it. It shouldn't matter. You know, it shouldn't matter. But yeah, I guess there's a whole history of behind as to why that is the way it is. Might have been dirty then. Might have, yeah. Ken, Ben, Den, maybe Fen, Spen. No memory, yeah, Praise the Cell Block, yeah. I don't watch that one a lot, to be fair, but I did watch it a reasonable amount, I'd say. Not saying they're raising seriously, but America do seem to be more deeper with it than we are, yeah. At least from the outside looking in, it seems that way. But yeah, it's just mad sometimes when you watch like certain figures talk about like race relations, like certain American figures talk about race relations, like they practically talk about black and white people like we're two different species. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you noticed this, but there's certain people out there where they'll talk about black and white people like they're just two different species. Especially like some of these, like, for lack of a better phrase, you know, woke niggas. You know what I mean? They seem to talk about black and white folk, which is two different species. Like we are human. We're all human. I mean, I get there's like issues in the world. Don't want to minimize that. But it's like, don't forget, we are all human, right? You know, we all still have the same basic fundamental desires and goals and wants and needs. You know, maybe we see things differently in how they should be done, but I think ultimately everybody's really after the same things. You want a good life for yourself and the people around you, you know, your family and your friends. We differ on how that is, and certainly there's all kinds of egos and arrogances and insecurities and discriminations that gets in the way. So like I said, I don't want to minimize that. But we're not a different species, you know what I mean? It's like, in a way, people talk about these things like interspecies shouldn't mix, and it's like, or into it. What was a phrase you said actually? It was something like, this is why black people should stick to black people, because like you need to keep like the gene pure. It's like, bloody hell, what are you talking about? I was like, mate, you just gone beyond. Like, I think you just gone beyond like anything. It's like, bro, chill, man. That is, but yeah. Anyway. Pierce the Subway Cage was awesome. As an outsider, it feels the same way of religion, politics, instead of making assumptions about each other, talk to each other indeed. And white people had Who's the Boss and Hogan Family. Black people had Family Matters and Hang with Mr. I remember Hanging with Mr. Cooper. They used to show it over here with Mark Cooper and Holly Robinson. In fact, Holly Robinson before she became Holly Robinson Pete. So yeah, I remember that show. That was a good show. It's funny. I don't think it lasted very long though. I think it only ran for like 1 or 2 seasons. I don't think it lasted long. Or maybe I stopped watching after 1 or 2 seasons. Let me see here. Who's Hanging with Mr. Cooper, 1992. 1992 to 1997. Okay. It ran for 5 years, 101 episodes. And 5 seasons. It actually had 5 seasons. So it actually did pretty well. It did pretty well. I probably didn't watch all those episodes. I'm thinking. I probably stopped somewhere around season 2, I reckon. I don't know why. Maybe I just missed it. You'll find we ain't that different. Yeah, indeed. I remember being called the result of a race betrayal. People are special. People are stupid. I don't get the intentional hey, love who you love, live your life and be happy indeed. That didn't come from black people. Whatever they learned it from racist white folks. They came up with that concept of sticking with your own and other-ish. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. I mean, I don't doubt that, because I mean, it's kind of like what it was like back in the day about, you know, you stick over there, you stick over there, and I guess that's kind of like rubs off in some way, but it gets to a point where it's like, why are you using the same dumbass tactics as the people you claim to be against? It's like, are you dumb, bruv? Like, are you dumb? Anyway, all I know is when I say I want a flat white, I ain't talking about coffee. I want a flat white with sweet buns. No one is born hating another person because of the color of their skin, or his background, or his religion. People must learn to hate. And if they can learn to hate, then they can taught to love. Yeah, indeed. The love comes more naturally to the human heart. And it's opposite. Nelson Mandela. Yeah, I knew I knew that quote for someone. I was reading it like, I know this quote. Yeah, Nelson Mandela. Cool. But yeah, you know, like we learn things as we, you know, grow through life, and I think most of us naturally just do as we're told from our parents. So a lot of it's going to come from there, and of course they're going to learn from their parents and so on and so forth, and society and things around you. And there's certain things that tend to reinforce certain ideals, and we all kind of grow up in a society as well that has various messages going around that, as much as we like to claim we're not susceptible to, we're susceptible to in some form or fashion. So yeah, it is around, you know, it is around. And I think sometimes we just, maybe sometimes, I think a lot of it just comes down to being aware that we are all in this machine, you know, somehow, some way, all receiving these same messages, and as long as we can understand that none of us are perfect, none of us are going to get it right all the time. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to just get things wrong. We're not going to just not know things, you know. And rather than just trying to say, well, your type of people must be all like this because of this, it's just like, nah, it's just human. Just human. It kind of makes us different as culture, and well, for sure, yeah. And we should be more embracing. Movie band, yeah. And why is that Jane Elliott and other white intellectual people explain it best? Yeah, Jane Elliott I'm familiar with. Tim Wise, not so much. I'm guessing he's a smart dude though. Anti-racism activist, writer. Timothy Jacob Wise, born Nashville, Tennessee. We're all different people in this group. We all get along. No, I don't like none of you niggas. What are you talking about? I don't like none of you. We get along? Nah. I don't like none of you. Not a one of you. I don't like not a one of y'all. Nah, I keyed. But yeah, I think one of the things about this group that I really appreciate is that, you know, we all different people. I mean, we're in different parts of the country, different parts of, well, I say country as in England, different parts of the world, you know, and we all find each other around this internet circle, maybe united because we all like music and movies and stuff like that, but we have so much more to kind of talk about. I feel like this is one of very few places where, I mean, I don't want to say, let me not say that because of course I don't know what everyone else is doing, but I feel like it's certainly a place where, you know, I feel like people can come and we can talk about stuff and we could feel, because I feel like we're by and large not judgmental. I mean, we might make jokes or we might play around a little bit, but, you know, I think like, you know, when it's time to be serious, like we could be serious, you know, and we can talk about serious stuff and we can talk about things that maybe you might not want to talk about elsewhere, just because like people could be a bit, you know, kind of funny about certain things and everybody gets kind of weird about it, starts calling you names and this, that, and the other, and it's like, and it shouldn't have to be like that. Sometimes it's just what's on your mind, you know, and I think it's a place where people can do that, and hopefully you guys feel that too. Hopefully you guys think that too, where it's just like, you chill, you talk, you have fun, you get serious, you make jokes, a lot of dirty jokes, more dirty jokes, a few more dirty jokes. There's a couple more dirty jokes for good measure, but I think I think we do okay here. I think we do okay here. They explain and showed how the concept of race and racial disparity came to be, and that started with the European centuries as centuries go. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it, yeah, goes back to like, I don't know, 1500s, I think. I can't remember the exact year, but yeah. It's kind of, I mean, the concept of race in terms of how we look at race now, like, you know, black guy, white people, you know, that kind of thing, that goes back to like, I think it was like 1500 or something. But it's actually, when you think about it, it's not that long ago, like in relation to, say, world history. You know, it's what, some 500-600 years ago, or what are we now? 2023, 800 years ago. Is that right? No, 500 years ago, right the first time. But yeah, it's not really that long ago in terms of like world history. So only about sort of maybe 400 or 500 years, give or take. And before that, it's not that, you know, of course, there were obviously still people of different shades, and, you know, you'd see that, but you wouldn't necessarily class people as like black people and white. That didn't really exist before that. So the concept of race as we see it now, yeah, it's only about sort of 400 or 500 years old. So when people say race is social constructs, like yeah, that is true. That is true. For me personally, it's the only place on the internet where I can feel at ease, just chat and can laugh. But can also be serious. I appreciate that, Ben. Man like Ben. You get two craps that you're a black dude, the fact that you're southern though. Yeah, you can't trust people from London. It's just not a good idea. It's just not. Well, there is a lack of dirty jokes though. Oh, you're probably right about that. Maybe we haven't made enough dirty jokes today. And then I'm trying to think of a dirty joke. I'm on a spot. I feel like it can be difficult to come up with jokes sometimes when you get put in a spot like that. But yeah, I should do actually. I should get like a list of dirty jokes and just like read some out just randomly every now and then. Just like pick one to read at random. That's what I should do. Dance off. What dance off? How'd you make a pool table laugh Tickle its balls. Yeah, they pick on each other. North and south thing. I mean, is that like when he goes high, you go down low? I mean, what? I think we learned a lot about Sam today. He goes up top. Sam gets down. Okay. Hey, listen. We no judgment. No judgment. we don't do that here. We don't judge here. So like whatever you into, it's all good. It's all good. Exactly. Known for being soft, that's not what it is. Get on with it. Yeah. That's city boys. I mean, I had to quit. I used to have a job as a warehouse stacker, and I had to quit because it just messed up my manicure in the end. So I was like, nah, I can't do this. Can't do this. It's too much. So yeah. Give it to me, give it to me, she yells. I'm so wet. Give it to me now. She could scream all she wanted, but I was keeping the umbrella. Dan, you mean. You meanie. Well, whether it's true or not, I shall neither confirm nor deny. Proud of it. I mean, to be honest, considering the average height of most women, well, not even most, that's not making sense. Consider the average height of a woman. Yeah, it's probably best you don't give her an umbrella, you know, because you probably just poke your eye out with it. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's probably best you don't. Probably best you don't. Like if you're below like 5'8", yeah, you shouldn't be holding umbrellas. Like, so just no, let's just don't. You're just gonna take somebody's eye out, you know. Everybody's trying to duck everywhere, and it's like, oh. Actually, Taylor Swift. Yeah, Taylor Swift could have the umbrella. I have no problem with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift can hold whatever she wants to hold. I'm too much of a gentleman. I believe it's true. Well. Actually, I did have a job in the warehouse at once. Well, technically, I wasn't employed as a warehouse stacker, but it was part of the job to be in a warehouse and stack things. That wasn't a whole job, but yeah, when I worked in Sainsbury's, part of the job was being in a warehouse and stacking stuff and things like that. And it was actually a pretty cool time because you just put your headphones in, listen to your music, and just kind of get on with it. But there's always some arsehole boss that would come along and be like, "Oh, you can't listen to your music while you're in the back," and it's like, nah, I can, because my actual manager said it was okay. And you're just some guy from the other side that has no jurisdiction here.
And that's not what I said at the time, though, because, you know, back then I I don't really know you could just stand up to people, you know what I mean? I didn't know that, so it was more like, but yeah. Speaking of racism, one reason why Candyman came to be who he is because of racism. Well, yeah, I mean, you got a caught messing around with a white chick, and then them boys did not like it. Them good old boys didn't like that very much. You know, I'll fit under it. So he said we were discussing Haze last night on the stream. Yeah, that guy. I'm a straight guy. Yeah, he was like 6'1". He was the tallest. $5'2". So, speaking of dirty jokes, you know what the best thing about short women is? You don't have to sit down. You know about those good old boys. I mean, I'm aware of the term, yeah. Good old boys. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing bye, Miss American bye. Yeah. Oof. Well, yeah. Ben likes the video. Appreciate it, like, Ben. Appreciate that. I had to take more pain relief. Hope you're doing okay, Sam. Or is it just like, is that normal? Hopefully that's normal.
And you never have to apologize for taking care of yourself. You gotta take care of yourself. That's all good. You gotta do that. You gotta do that. Chat went quiet for a bit though. I was kind of like, where did it really go? But cool. Appreciate you sticking through. Oh man. So here's the thing about month randomly started hurting. Oh. Oh, that's a shame. I'm sorry, Sam, you're going through that. Hopefully you get through it okay. You ever find it live stream page that do you ever get nervous in front of the camera? Yeah, pretty much all the time. I mean, well, actually, no, that's not exactly true. I guess I've been doing it long enough to understand, and not just camera, but just in terms of being in front of people like stage and things like that. I've been doing it long enough to understand how to, say, control nerves. So I guess I don't, strictly speaking, feel nervous just when it comes to live streaming in general. I guess there's every now and then if I'm saying something, especially if I make a joke and someone's kind of like, did that joke go too far? You know, that kind of thing. It's more something like that because it is live and there are no take backs. You know, once you said it, you said it. It's not like I could like say something and be like, you know, I just won't upload it. You know, it's not like that. If once I've said it, I've said it. So there's always sometimes where I might say something. Well, not always, but every now and then it might be sometimes where I say something where it's like, you know what? Should I have said that? should I do? Maybe that one's a bit too much. But I think you guys have been pretty cool so far, so that helps to ease that a bit. Some bad weather came through the area the other night, and more is on its way on Wednesday to Thursday, bruh. Don't feel like too fake though. Oof. Damn, tough times, man. Rex has got bad weather, Sam's got pain. Oof. I know those moments, yeah. When you tell a joke and then start thinking, did I go right? Exactly. Did I go too far? Did I? How did you grow more confident in front of the camera and in general? Am I confident? Am I? Okay. I don't know. I think I just got good at pretending, to be honest. I'm terrible for overthinking, so I can imagine what you mean. Yeah, it was pretty much that. Yeah, but I think with anything, you just keep doing it. You know, I have a friend who is a life coach, and she would say, "Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes improvement." And what that means, at least what I take it to mean, is that it's not about being perfect, because that's a myth. But the more you practice something, the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. And because of that, you always have to be mindful about what exactly you're doing. So, for example, if you keep putting things off, right, you're going to get better at putting things off. You know, the more you put things off, the more you're going to get better at putting things off. If you adopt a negative attitude and you keep that negative attitude, the more you have that negative attitude, the better you're going to get at being negative. So I feel it's important to be mindful about what you're doing, and in particular what you're doing on a regular basis. So if there's something that you want to do, just keep doing it, you know, just keep doing it. And yeah, you're not always going to get it right. You're not always going to be, it's never going to be perfect, but you just keep doing it. And as you keep doing it, you're going to get better at it. You're going to learn things about the thing you're doing, and more importantly, you're going to learn things about yourself. So you just keep doing it, and as that, you just find your way and yourself in that thing, or within the things, or maybe that leads you into something else that you hadn't even thought of. But in any case, you just keep going and kind of follow your passion through it. So yeah, that's something that's kind of stuck with me. Practice makes improvement. So yeah, just be mindful about what you're doing, what kind of attitudes you're harboring, and yeah, just like, especially because we're all going to get angry. I'm not saying that, of course, we're all going to get upset. We're always going to make mistakes. We're all going to get things wrong. We're all going to get things where we don't do the right thing, or we know we should do this, but we end up doing that, and we do something else instead. That's just part of being human. But when you're, I think, like saying before about awareness, you know, being aware of that and understanding that, okay, this is a human response, and it's not necessarily what I want to be doing. And when you're aware of that, you know that you could do something else going forward and try to keep doing other things, which means that next time something happens, you're more likely to make, hopefully, at least you're more likely to make a better decision. So yeah, practice makes improvement, and yeah, so just keep doing it, just keep going. Whatever you want to do that thing. Don't wait for permission, just do it. So yeah, that's kind of been my attitude, I guess, or my way of getting more confidence. Apparently I'm confident though, but I know I don't really think of myself as being confident. I guess I'm confident in some things. I might need more practice in other areas though, I think, but if I come across as confident, I guess that's a good thing. Therefore, I would have to take cover for the warnings issued for the area twice. So, bro, I might want to take cover just anyway, to be honest, just in case. I'm gonna say it's going upward. A couple of the tornadoes looked an EF4. Is that? I guess that's powerful. I don't know what that means, but I assume it's a powerful tornado. Very well was. I appreciate that, Ben. Your opinion, perhaps America is still very racist. Do you mix with different people? This is a really nice community you created on here, but have you ever had to deal with any haters or trolls? And if so, did it put you off sticking with it? A couple of times a few trolls have come through, but no, it never put me off sticking with it. I mean, in the days, like, for one thing, like I'll say, as far as the live streams goes, there's been very few of that. And who knows, maybe at some point there'd be much more of that, and I'd have to deal with it. That'd be a lot more to deal with. But I think so far there's been very few people coming in to troll. I mean, depending on the troll, I guess it kind of ranges. Some trolls are pretty harmless, right? And you just kind of ignore them, or maybe laugh along and whatever. You kind of, and it just go away after a while. Others could be a bit more aggressive, and that could be annoying. But yeah, thankfully there hasn't been many of that, or hasn't been much of that. But the way I've handled it, I just block them. You know, if I just feel somebody's either getting rude or just, you know, just anything like that, yeah, I just block them. So yeah, I haven't had to block many people, but yeah, I have done that. I'll say most of the stuff I get would be more in the comments on some of my videos, where somebody every now and then decides to make some bollocks comment on one of my videos, and depending on how I'm on my mood, I'm either going to ignore it or I'm going to respond with the most amount of pettiness. You know, depending on how I'm feeling that day, I'm either going to ignore it or I'm going to be petty. So, like, I've told plenty of people to go away and watch something else a lot of times. Like, when people come through and say things, they leave a comment saying things like, "This was stupid," or I don't like the way you said that, or whatever. I'm just like, yeah, go watch something else then. You know what I mean? Just go away. You don't need to be here. Because I think sometimes people think that just because they're viewing your content, that I owe them something, and if they don't like something that I'm doing, I have to change to suit them. And it's like, no, I don't. I really don't. I mean, of course, I've said it before. Like, of course, I'd like to have viewers and all that stuff and make a living out of this, but not at the expense of dignity. Like, I'm not gonna suck up to somebody who doesn't care about what I'm doing and just feels entitled to me in some way. Like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'll take the 4 or 5 people that come here on a regular basis over 10,000 arseholes coming here any day. So in fact, another thing I came across, this is from a video that I saw online on YouTube, where there's I don't know if you know a YouTuber called Shan Boody. She's actually a sex educator, but like sexual health educator. No, I don't think she teaches. Well, maybe she does teach people how to have sex. I don't know. Anyway, that's besides the point. I came across one of her videos where she was talking about her journey on YouTube, and one of the things she said that stuck with me from that video was that imagine you're put on a show, and the venue holds, let's say, 1,000 people, but only 5 people show up. Right? You have a choice. Are you going to give your attention to the 5 people that showed up, or are you going to keep looking at the back door hoping more people come? And for me, it was like, I'd rather focus on the people who are actually here. I'd rather do that. And, well, that's you guys. So the people who like come by and act all entitled, and it's like, bruh, no, we're not doing that. I'd rather focus on the people who actually show up, and that's you guys. So yeah, thank you. I have a lot of flaws, and exposing my insecurities puts me off doing certain things. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough thing, for sure, because once you start making videos, especially once you're doing it on a regular basis, one way or the other, you're going to show your insecurities, whether deliberately, whether intentionally or unintentionally. One way or another, they're going to show in some way. It might not always be super obvious to people watching, but it's going to show in some way, and that's a real thing. I mean, I don't say you have to do it. Of course, that's entirely up to you, but I think it's important to. I think it's important to share your passions with people, and your art and your creativity with people. He's poked fun at them yet? Poke fun at the trolls, giving taste of their own medicine. I think I've ever been offended by a joke. I know jokes can go too far though, but I'm probably too easygoing. It's water for ducks back in it. Yeah, this country is mixed, and obviously racism is all around here. Race relations improves at all, in your opinion? It ain't at all like it was during my parents' time, of course, but it's still here. There's still some downtowns. Yeah, stuff I gotta be aware of. I'll be able to mostly do what you want, Frank, because I would like to think you could. We got you, Woody. I appreciate you, Sam. Quality over quantity, exactly. It's improved on the surface level, but still tension and divide is still there. Big time during Obama's campaign, Trump's campaign, and summer 2020. But that's the thing about, I guess, when it comes to racism and stuff like that, is like you can change a law, but it doesn't necessarily change people's attitudes, you know. And even though you can, when you change a law, if you still got people with those same attitudes in power or in positions of authority, and they're just like making certain rules that on the surface might look fine, but actually, you know, yeah, it's an issue. But guys, you know what? It's 1:45 tomorrow right now. It's 15 minutes to tomorrow. So I gotta start winding down so I can lay my head down and shut my eyes for approximately 4 to 5 hours. Do you think mainstream media plays a factor? Yeah, okay, but I still gotta be mindful about where I go, especially when there is Trump brags the lefties will like you much either. Brags ain't safe nowhere. Ain't even safe for his own people. Well, I hope that's not the case, actually. I hope that's not the case. It will be special for as far as I can remember. No, indeed. Yeah, I'm 1 hour ahead of you. Oh, yeah. Belgian Dan in the Belgian land. But yeah, guys. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to say earlier, actually. I was going to do the gaming stream on Friday, but I think I want to try a Thursday this week instead of Friday. So instead of Friday, Thursday for the gaming stream. Still the same time, 8 p.m. GMT-ish. But I want to try Thursday this week and potentially maybe even move it to Thursdays on a, you know, permanent basis, like, you know. So yeah, Thursday this week for the gaming stream. With a potential move to Thursdays, but I just want to kind of see how it goes this week, as you know, trying to get ready for going to 3 nights a week, 3 nights a week for this live streams. It's still a few things I'm trying to work out, like, you know, when I do the cab work and which days I could still make a decent amount of money on, you know, that sort of thing. Because if I'm going to do more nights, I have to consider things like which days are, you know, more profitable. I mean, there's no guarantees when it comes to this line of work, I know that, but just certain days tend to be typically better than others for making money, and I don't want to not make money, you know what I mean? So there's that. So yeah, the Thursday this week for the gaming stream, 8 p.m, and a potential move to Thursdays, but, you know, I'll confirm that later on as we get closer to hopefully going into 3 stream days a week. And I think in a couple of weeks I should be able to start doing that. Yeah, we'll try and figure out the best days to stream on, but also days where I could, you know, make a decent amount of money doing other stuff so that I could pay for all this, you know what I mean? So yeah, Thursday this week, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Let me just catch with chat real quick before I say my final goodbyes. Belgium. Makes sense with the name, yeah. No, just like Belgian buns. Just do you, right? No, I know the origins of the name, yeah. Belgian Dan is a Belgian man. It was best for you, Haze. You will be here whenever. I appreciate that, Ben. Yeah, mainstream media is part of it, but it's mostly taught and practice history. People's experiences of dealing with it, so people just can't go by it's the media. Yeah, no, for sure. There's a lot behind it, isn't it? Yeah. I'll try to be here as often as I can. Appreciate that, Dan. I vote for my own interest first. Well, indeed. Yeah. And I all hope you all have a good weekend. That should be back. Yeah. You gotta take care of yourself. You are always gonna be the most important person in your life. I mean, I ain't advocating for being totally inconsiderate, of course. You should be considerate of how your actions affect other people, especially if they affect people in negative ways. But ultimately, yeah, you are the most important person in your life. So yeah, gotta take care of yourself first and foremost. But guys, you have been awesome as always. I appreciate you and all that you do. Thank you for keeping me company. Thank you for keeping it lively. The village is strong because you make it strong. Only gonna get stronger. So until whenever, if ever, peace.